What up? Check, check, check. Yeah, close that. 1, 2, 3. Yo, yo, yo. See if you guys can hear me. It's a little streaky with them lights. Yo, what up? Yo, can you guys hear me okay? Man, I gotta change the lighting in here. Like, these lights are freaking brutal. What up, everybody? Welcome to the live chat. Gonna hang out and do a little Q&A here for a little while. And I had some dental surgery done yesterday, so my face is kind of puffy, but I can't really work on much. So I'm just gonna kind of hang out and shoot the shit for a while. Nice cold water. Man, it's been a hectic couple of weeks. What up? We got all kinds of stuff going on. Got a new car in the shop, and we working on that, filming some video on that thing. Really, really nice 67. Belongs to my next door neighbor, actually. He's a hot rod and a car guy, and painted that car at least 10 or 12 years ago. The car hasn't ran in 15 years. Yeah, dude, it's super nice out right now. I have the door of my shop open. Like, it's super, super nice today. Yeah, that car hasn't ran in like 15 years, so I'm going to get it running for him. And he'll have another classic to enjoy. What do you guys got going on? Anybody working on anything in their shop today? What do I think of the eyeball fabrication cars? I've worked on a bunch of them. They're okay. Not a bad setup. I want to say there's something about their front end that's specific, and I don't remember what it was. I know that there's been a couple cars. I think I've done 2 eyeball cars where I've switched them from Ecotech to Honda. But there's something specific about their front end or their A-arms, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head that I didn't care for. But that, all in all, just an overall good car. They run good. Did I pull the motor out of my Honda? No, I left my entire car in Colorado. I am building my other motors in the works right now, and I'll tell the rest of you guys that story in just a minute. Suspension manufacturer I prefer. You see less breakage out there. Yeah, San Lamo. And I know, honestly, guys, it sounds totally biased because I work at Glamis Fab with Joe, who owns San Lamo, and I own a San Lamo. But to be totally straight up honest with you guys, it's the least amount of cars that we see in the shop with massive breakage is San Lamos. We get some of the older cars come in with like guys that haven't done the servicing on the Uniballs, but we just don't see them in the shop very often. And maybe it's because the owners don't like Joe. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding there. But yeah, we don't see a lot of San Lamos in there. We also don't see a lot of Funkos. The problems that we do see with the Funkos are usually the airbag mounts breaking. But other than that, the Funko stuff's pretty good. But that is also not technically a long travel car. Just went from a San Rail to eyeball. Can't wait for the season. Heck yeah, dude. Cool. The shock manufacturer. I'm a King guy. King and Fox are the two, at the top of the heap. But I'm a King guy. I like the way their valving works. So back to my Hondas. Those some of you guys didn't know, but and I haven't really put it out there at all. But I haven't even put up my video yet. But Friday night during the private test and tune in Pueblo, I hurt the motor in my car really, really bad. Not complete catastrophic failure, but I did break the oil pump at some point in time during the testing and lost oil pressure at the big end of the track in fourth gear. So, um, not hiding that from anybody or anything. I just haven't had a chance to put a video out. And after it happened, I didn't put a whole lot of. How's my sand car running? I'll get to you in just a minute, Dave. At full disclosure, I seized the number 3 and number 4 rod bearing or rods to the point where the motor wouldn't spin over anymore. What was weird is I made a full pass on the car and got it in fourth gear, and we had just turned it down so I could just go A to B and feel out the new transmission, and got the car into fourth gear, put the traps, pulled the parachute, did everything I needed to do, and then shut the car off as I coasted around and out to the return lane like I always do. Hopped out of the car, was pretty stoked that the car made a good A to B pass, and hopped out, gathered up my parachute, threw it back in the car, hopped back in the car and went to start it, and it just clicked. Click. So the motor was completely locked up. Brent came over and couldn't even turn it with a crank pulley or with a wrench on the crank pulley. So I pulled the pan and pulled the log. Jamie looked at the log, and the oil pressure dipped pretty low in fourth gear. And it was kind of all over the place, first through fourth. I had a couple of misshift issues when I was testing with the transmission, and the motor saw like 12,500 RPMs more than once, like 4 or 5 times. So I think that broke the oil pump gear, and then we lost oil pressure. The next race is in like 4 weeks, I think. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to make that race. I do have an aluminum rod motor that I'm building for that car right now. The block is off in California along with my rods, and everything for that motor is in California at the machine shop that I use, my friend Anthony Donalo. And I'm hoping that he can get to it in time. The needed to be line board. Needed to be line board. So Dave, how's my sand car running? It runs great. It's over at Shock Talk right now, getting the suspension dialed in. So it should be done at the end of the month, and then I'll take it out on one of these hot days and give it a. Yeah, I'm definitely going to vote in the California primary since they don't need my ID. Hell yeah. Me and a bunch of my Arizona friends are going to go over there. Good old time in Pueblo. Yep, I've had the highest of highs at Pueblo and the lowest of lows. That's for sure. Yes, I have been busy. What electric steering would I recommend on Sandrail? That's a great question. The company's called Affordable Off-Road, and they make electric power steering kits. That would be me. I make them. So if you want an electric power steering kit for your car, hit me up, send me a PM on Instagram, and I can get your kit because I make them. Hopefully my passes make your video. Yeah, they should. I'll look. I've got quite a few passes recorded, and then towards the end during the eliminations and the finals, I took a GoPro down to the far end of the track and set a tripod up. I haven't even looked at that footage yet. So, but yeah, hit me up on Instagram if you want to send me a PM if you want a power steering unit. I'll get you dialed. What other questions? Makes sense. Voting in the primaries. Yeah, I've made up until I raced my car here in Arizona. I had made my personal best, my fastest pass was at Pueblo until I went 9-0 here. You can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? What's the wattage on the power steering unit? It's 660 watts. 660. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Oh, yeah. That's got audio.
Check. Yeah, check.
All right, cool. Maybe it's just that guy. All right. Anyhow, 660 watts on my power steering units. They are a GM unit that's been repurposed for universal use. Oh, it's got a rheostat controller so you can control the assist. So yeah, hopefully I get my my motor done, my next Honda, my additional Honda motor done in time for the next race, which is in Kearney, Nebraska, which is my favorite drag strip. I love Nebraska. That the drag strips in the middle of the cornfield, like literally 30 feet from the drag strip on the right hand side, there's corn. It's really, really cool. And the people there are awesome. So we always have a good time in Kearney. MPFI puts on a great event. I've had a lot of people ask me lately, why don't I do more racing locally versus traveling? And if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I have raced in Bakersfield and here in Arizona as well. There's just no turnout, right? So I raced IFO here in Arizona, and there's like 30 cars and no classes. So, and the guys from PFI are my boys, and they put on a great event. The payouts are good, and the vibe is good. So that's why I continue going back. I've been trying to twist their arm into getting them to put on an event out here, but it's hard. It's hard to get people to travel. I went to IFO in Bakersfield, and it was sold out. Like 300 cars sold out. And then I go to IFO in Arizona, and 30 cars show up. So, and it's not that far of a drive from SoCal to Arizona. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So what else is happening? What are you guys working on? Anybody working on anything cool? Yeah, the camaraderie is way different. The guy that's pitted next to you, that's in your same class that you're facing in the final round, he'll give you a head gasket, or he'll give you something to get your car up to the lanes versus just taking a win lap that way. And that's kind of how I am. I'll give you the shirt off my back so we can have a fair A to B race. It's kind of like back when I used to street race in Mexico, of course, never in Compton or anything like that. We would always stipulate in the beginning, like, if you break an axle, no race. We always want to make sure both cars hooked up and got out, because at the end of the day, I want to take your money when I'm street racing, but at the same time, I want an even. I don't want you to break. I don't want to win that way. So, and that's kind of the way the PFI events are. They don't. Most people don't want to win that way. I definitely don't. I want to know that my car's faster or slower, and then if my car is slower, it just motivates me to make it that much faster. What Honda engine would be better for a sand rail? A J35, the V6. Honda V6 is a great platform for sand rails. I've had guys that have had bone stock Honda V6s in their cars for 15 years now, and they just keep running and running. So like I said, hopefully my Honda motor will be ready, and then I'll have to go out about a week early before the event and spend some time at the shop pulling my motor out, putting the new motor in, putting the car back on the dyno again. It's just that whole thing is like a never-ending process of, drag race, hurt the motor, fix it. Hello from Washington. We love the videos. Right on. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. It's like I really want to start upgrading the drivetrain in my Honda, which I kind of have already, but it didn't really go in order. But I keep, I had a motor that made like 650 horsepower, and that thing lasted forever. I got 100 plus passes out of it, thousands of miles on the street. But with that 4-cylinder Honda, when you pass that 650 horsepower limit or that number, when you start getting 7, 8, 9 up into 1,000 horsepower, it's a whole different ball game. And from 650 horsepower to 1,000 horsepower, there's also levels in that, right? So once you start making over 1,000, you're in pretty dangerous territory up there. You know, you're looking at doing rod bearings every other race or every race. Even on a steel rod motor, I would at least check them every race. You know, with an aluminum rod motor, you've got to do them every race. It's you know, there's levels to this stuff. It definitely makes it less reliable. Well, it only makes it less reliable if you're pushing it. Like, it doesn't, like if my car made 1,000 horsepower and I wanted to drive it on the freeway 1,000 miles, it would make it as long as I didn't rip on it. But at that power level, yes, it's definitely less reliable. That's for sure. I'm really lucky and fortunate that I have, you know, my boy Tom. You guys know Tom, a great friend and an awesome engine builder who has helped me with every one of the motors in my car. Yeah, words from the famous Harry Okuda. What are you guys working on out there? What do you guys got going on? I got that 67, and then I got that thing. I'm still working on wiring that. I'm actually over at San Lamo right now wiring his dad's car. I'm just finishing that one. When am I able to get back to Dune videos? Our shop is closed until October 1st. This is the summer season, so it's really hot, and no one goes to Glamis during this time. Well, some people do, but not like the normal season where we're open every weekend. So, yeah, October 1 is when we start back up. In the meantime, Joe has a shop here. He maintenances sand cars and works every day here locally. And then once we get back to October, then we open Glamis Fab back up. I got my new toy hauler. It was in my last video, off to California. Got it dropped off. It's getting the roof fixed. And unfortunately, I had the dreaded Weekend Warrior wall sag. So they have to fix it. There's no getting around it. So they're fixing the wall sag and the soft spot in my roof. Spending a lot more than I wanted to, but you know, it is what it is. I want to make that trailer nice so we can use it a lot. So I'll be using that trailer for drag racing and for going out up here, around here too. There's tons of trails and stuff, and we have a Razor. My wife has a two-seat Razor, so we can go cruising around. Does it have the 2x2 reinforcement under the frame and axles? That's what they're doing. It's at Warrior Repair right now. So we're at, if you don't know about Warrior Repair, it's the sister of the guy who owned Weekend Warrior or started Weekend Warrior. She does parts and repairs still. So most of the guys that work there used to build these trailers for a living, and now they're repairing them. So they are adding all the reinforcement under the frame and axles to alleviate the wall sag. I guess they have a jig that the trailer goes in, they jack it up, and they let the walls like fall down or whatever. In 04. Yeah, I've had a couple of Warriors. I have had what year was that? I think I had a 99 front bathroom 26. And then I have an 03 FS30. That's what I have out in Glamis right now. And then I have this new one that I just bought. Do I think it's worth a big bore kit for a CRF 2 or just slamming a two-stroke 250 or 450? It's been a long time helping a friend of mine get his rail going. You guys are going to put a dirt bike motor in a rail? That would be pretty cool. A front bedroom or front bathroom 30-footer 19.6 wide. That's awesome. The wide bodies are great. CR500, heck yeah. No, your dirt bike. Oh, um, to be honest with you, the four strokes make a ton of torque, but I love two strokes. Um, I've never really, I think I've ridden a couple four stroke bikes, but I love the pipiness of a two stroke for sure. Um, but speaking of Dune content, I am going to try to get out to Idaho or somewhere out in the dunes this summer. As soon as my trailer's done and my car's done at Shock Talk, I am planning a trip. I just don't know when yet, when the dates are, and exactly where we're going to go. Maybe St. Anthony's in Idaho. Um, so we'll see. I definitely want to go out there and film some footage and go doing it somewhere else other than Glamis. CR250R. Yeah, there's nothing like a four stroke, man. Good now. So yeah, I'm finished 7 for my neighbor. Really, really nice car. Two-tone, nice green and gray. Interior is all done. I'm just making it run for him. It's got an 1835 with dual carbs. He just brought me a battery for it yesterday, so I'm going to get that in. But like I said, I had oral surgery yesterday, so I've just been kind of laying low today. CR500 swap would be sick. Yep. Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, like you said, those motors are hard to come by. So I'm filming a video on that while I put it together, and then I'm filming on that car, and I'm filming over at the shop. So I've got a video in the queue right now that I'm almost done editing. So I'll get that finished up here this week and get a video uploaded. How's my race car? My race car is really hurt right now. So it's up in Colorado at PFI. I usually try to leave my stuff up there, but while the motor's hurt, so I'm working on a new motor. Then I'll get back up there and get it put back together. Right now, Mario is making me a carbon fiber roof and a carbon fiber wing for my Honda. So I'm gonna take the metal roof out. And we're doing carbon fiber. Have I done any more for Cletus? Yeah, I actually just took his car. It was here. It was parked right here. I just took it to Cord's Performance. Actually, there's his wheels right there. It's just flipped over, but it is red and black on the other side. It's over at Cord's Performance. They had some punchless items to take care of from when they did the motor. And then it'll be coming back to me. And I think I am making a new rear engine cage for it. We'll get it over to San Lomo. We're going to redo the engine cage because it had some clearance issues with the new motor. And I want to put a Switch Pros in it and rewire not the whole car, but just the lights and stuff. So, yeah, dude, driving my car was Little Sahara, Utah for the 3rd annual Buggy Roundup in September 25th through the 27th. Write that down. 25 through 27 September. Sorry for shaking. That would be cool. Is it just a buggy roundup, or is it kind of like old school roundup? He tears up everything. Believe it or not, dude, the car performed really well when it came back from Cords. It made good power. I know for sure when I get it back from Cords, I'm pulling the motor out, pulling the transmission out, and having it gone through just to be on the safe side. It's kind of hard to maintain a car like that for someone that only comes out one time a year, because I have to ensure that car's not going to break. He flies out here, they spend 2 or 3 days here, and then they're gone, for another year. So a lot of people question a lot of the things that I do on that car, and like tire choices and the way I set the car up. but that's all done for a reason. It's all to make that car last. So could the car wheelie harder with a molded tire? Would it hook harder? Absolutely. But we want the car to last. It's a midboard. It's not a midboard car. It's a stub axle car. So those big molded tires that were on the back of that, he went through bearings. Every trip he came, it would eat up wheel bearings. And now, never mind the haters. I try not to. But now I've tried to make that car to where it'll survive what he's going to do to it, the whole time he's here. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that so much. It's a whole buggy roundup, so old school and new. We had pan cars out. Dude, speaking of pan cars, man, old school roundup had me like drooling over old school pan cars. So I'm actually thinking I might get a hold of a pan car. Just to like some slow cruising Dune cruiser to just be wide out. Yeah. Anyways, it's on my list. Yep, but he knows how to drive. Yes, he does. He absolutely knows how to. That guy can drive anything, man. Quick story if you haven't heard it before. The first time Garrett ever came to Glamis, he was in a side by side. I think he was driving a Can-Am at the time. He had an X3 Maverick or whatever. And we went to the swing set, and that dude this was 4 years ago. First time ever in Glamis, and the first time he saw the swing set jump, he just freaking sent it. Him and JH both did it. And, dude, I've been going to Glamis for 20 plus, and I've jumped that jump a couple times, but not nearly. Like, he cleared the double and landed the car perfectly. And that the first time he'd ever seen the jump. Like, he didn't even get a pre-run. He just fucking hit it wide open. And, and like I said, I've duned with him. He can rip. Oh. Yeah, one hell of a driver. Build it for simple maintenance. I understand completely. Yeah, definitely simple maintenance and want it to last. Like I said, he only comes once a year. So God forbid, he comes all the way out here, gets a car. I've got this big, heavy molded tire on the back, and he breaks an axle 5 minutes into his ride or eats his TV up. Kind of sucks because you spend half your time getting the car repaired versus going out there and being able to drive the car. So, knock on wood, I have 930s in my car, and it makes 600, almost 600 horsepower to the wheels, and I've never lost a CV. I've had the same CVs in my car for 5 years. They went for 3 years, and I never don't say this out loud, but I never even serviced them. They just never made any noise. And when I took them out after 3 years of abuse, they looked brand new. Yeah, that was fun. I wish Razzle would have lasted a little longer for Amelia, and she would have been able to have a better time. But speaking of Razzle, I picked Razzle up when I was in Colorado racing last 2 weeks ago. We're removing the AEM and the old factory harness out of it. I'm cutting out the rear shock mounts. We're going to make it so you can actually change the spark plugs. I'm going to do some cage gussets in it to stiffen up the roof so it doesn't fold over if Kyle ever crashes a car. We're doing new front spindles, repowder coating the front spindles and A-arms, doing a little bit of shock work, sending the transmission out, and then we're putting in a Fuel Tech FT550. So I will be doing some videos on that car if it's okay with Kyle. I'm going to check with him and see if it's cool that I do some content with it. That thing's going to get revamped front to back, and it's going to be bad friggin' ass. I haven't done any more work on my car. No, it's sitting at Shock Talk in Yuma right now, getting the suspension tuned. So as soon as I get it back, there's a couple more things I'm going to do to my car. It's definitely got to go back to the dyno and get retuned. I'm having some issues with the car running hot. I thought it was a flow problem. I changed my radiator. I put a $2,000 radiator in the car, and it still gets hot. And then, back when I first did that motor, before I redid my car, when I got it, I just threw it in and took it to the dyno just because I wanted to see if it would make power. Well, that motor in my car is 12.5 to 1 compression, and I tuned it on pump gas. So we had to pull so much timing out of it. I think with all the timing being out of it, that is why it's running hot. So I'm going to put it on either race gas or E85. I did make my fuel tank bigger so it'll hold, I can hold more. So we'll see. I have a friend that's a VP dealer, so I do get VP C16 or C12. I think it's C16 that I'm running at a discounted rate somewhat, but it's still expensive. So it's almost cheaper to buy a pail of race gas than it is regular unleaded these days. But other than that, there's not much to be done to my car. It's pretty much done. Yeah, I don't think it's a coolant issue. I've got all the good stuff in there, a great water pump, big radiator, dual fans. It's definitely probably a timing issue. What happened to the white sand rail with the Turbo K24 and S4 transaxle? That is my friend Frankie's car, and it is still around. We took it to PFI, tuned it, made good power, and then drive hatch. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. No, my all-wheel drive hatch is not getting out. We're talking about my sand car. We got the car home and it started knocking, and we thought it was the motor. And so he went to pull the motor out and found that the flywheel bolts had backed out on him. So it wallered out all the flywheel holes in the crank. So we are replacing the crank in that motor. So he's got a crank. He just ordered bearings. So that'll be back together for the season as well. And then we also put a bigger turbo on that car. The last tuner that tuned the car was the turbo was too small. So the thing would make crazy powers, and then at 6,000 RPMs, the dyno graph would go like this out the back. That's a K24. It should rev to like 8,000, 7,800, and it rolled off at 6. So the tuner that tuned the car moved the rev limiter to 6,000 RPMs instead of telling him, hey, your turbo is too small. So we put a 3584 on it, and we'll make some real power with it. Bigger exhaust, new crank. So, yeah, I was talking about making new side panels. I'm probably going to do that when I get the car back. How was the shop for the long weekend? Which long weekend? If you're talking about Glamis Fab, it's closed. We don't open back up till October. Go big or go home. Hell yeah. So back to my LS car, my sand car. So yeah, I think it was running hot because we pulled so much timing out. Yeah, Sam, I'm really, really trying to make it for the event. I'm working on my aluminum rod motor right now, getting it put together. I'm actually hoping that my weekend my camp trailer is done. It's getting repairs done right now, and if it's done, then I'm going to bring my camp trailer out so I don't have to pay for hotels anymore. But yeah, I'm definitely planning on being there as long as my motor gets put together. There is another Hail Mary I can throw. If I go early, I can pull the motor out of my car and fix it at PFI. I do have an extra crank. I actually bought a crank. I bought a short block on the way home from Colorado for $100. It was cheap for a crank. It had stripped head studs. So I just need the crank out of it. And then I've got a bunch of rods up on the shelf here. I got to see what rods I've got. But I can get a set of rods, that I can just put a crank and rods in that motor, and then I wouldn't even need to really retune it. I could just send it the way it was. That and an oil pump. But then I've got to pull the whole thing apart, massively clean it, order an 84 millimeter head gasket, And I think that's it. So it's a lot of work. I'd rather just bring my my brand new motor and bring it up. Oh yeah, dude. I try to do all 4 PFI events for the whole season. That's that's like the gist of my drag racing is I do those 4 events. Um, I've done a couple out in Cali and here, but they're just not the same vibe. Um, but dude, I am super stoked that you are driving your brother's car, and it's actually check this out, dude. Now that I mentioned that, let me go back. I'll show you the end. Go back into iMovie here. Well, you'll see it in my video if you watch it. Right after the intro, you're making the first pass. So, and I talk a little bit about Kyle. What's the temperature in the dunes right now? Let me pull it up. It should be my favorites. It is 84 right now, but it is also 9 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock at night. That's awesome. The high today, you know, to be honest with you guys, the weather's been really mild in Glamis. There's something weird going on with the weather because usually it's over 100 by now. And today it was 93, tomorrow's 96, and then 94, 93, 95 over the weekend. So, and then next week it drops into the 80s. J Series or Ecotech versus building a big VW engine. Currently I have a turbo 2180, 12 gallon. Okay, so I would go with a J Series. You for what it costs to build that 2180, you could probably buy 4 J Series motors. You can buy a junkyard J Series motor for $600 to $800. You can buy an adapter plate, clutch and flywheel, and a radiator. Switch the car to water cooled, and probably for around $8,000, 8-ish in that range with all the fabrication to get it in, you'd be done and never have to worry about it again. And you could probably sell your VW motor for that much. And your turbo 2180 probably makes 200 horsepower, and your Honda V6 naturally aspirated bone stock that runs on 87 unleaded will make about 240 horsepower to the wheels. So it's kind of a no-brainer. It just all really depends on what transmission you have too. Are you on a bus box or a 002 or a 091? If you're on a 002, I do like a J30, the 3.0. If you're on a 091, then J35 all the way. Wright Brothers 5-rib bus box. Okay, right. One of Ricky's deals. Yeah, that should hold a J35. It'll be okay. As long as you just take it easy. Don't clutch dump it. It should be good. So, yeah, the problem with those turbo VWs, man, like you said, it's $12 a gallon for race gas. And it's, there's not a lot of air-cooled guys in Utah. And if you blow that motor up to replace it, to build a good 2-liter Volkswagen motor with a turbo these days is over $10,000. So, I always try to turn VW guys onto Honda. And then on top of that, if you got a 10-gallon fuel cell in your car with a stock Honda motor, you could probably do it all weekend on 10 gallons of regular pump gas. Those things get like 35 miles a gallon in a car. My thoughts on Subaru motors. They're cool. There's a lot of fast cars out there with Subis in them. They're a good, reliable motor. I don't know a whole lot about them. John from Outfront is our guy that does all of our Subaru stuff. he would be the guy to talk to if you're going to go Subaru. $5 gallons a day for every 80 miles. Yeah, it's like nothing. Yeah, I was super surprised. I had a beam car with a Honda V6 in it. I had a J32 in mine. And we went out Duning all day Saturday. We were gone for like 7 hours. We came back to camp and everybody's filling their cars back up. And I went to fill up my fuel cell and I was only down like a quarter of a tank of gas. It was crazy. 10-gallon tank. I imagine I can have someone build a harness. I run the stock ECU. Courtney Green. Yeah, Courtney's a good dude. Yeah, Courtney's awesome. If you go with the stock ECU and harness, you don't even need to tune it. And then AEM doesn't really make their computer anymore. And if you're just going to leave it, stock, which should be no problem, you can just run a stock ECU and it'll run forever. But yeah, Courtney's awesome. He's a good dude. I've known him for going on, 25 years or so. I used to drag race with him. Actually, just saw him at he was at the event in Pueblo. He tunes for another one of my friends and does like track support and stuff. So yeah, he's a good dude. Thank you. Introduced about 2 years myself. Right on. What else is going on, guys? What kind of projects are you guys working on? Somebody said they'll trade a kidney for a custom buggy exhaust. Yeah, it's pretty pricey these days. Super pricey these days, boys. So yeah, I got a couple videos in the pipe, just working on them now. I should be able to get those out in the next couple of days. Between my regular work and all the other stuff I do, I'm actually trying to ramp down and slow down a little bit, and I'm not really taking in any crazy buggy work right now. I'm just doing some wiring. Would have been epic if I were able to do a collab with 1320 Video. Yeah, that would have been awesome. Kyle, I did meet Kyle. I don't think there's anybody in this industry that does anything that we do that didn't know or have met or had an experience with Kyle. He was a super, super, super cool guy. I had the pleasure of being able to hang out with him a couple times. What a lot of people don't know is that a lot of his family's from Arizona, and they have side-by-side. So they would come to Glamis. Kyle's been to Glamis a couple times. I've seen him out there. I've talked to him out there. He just never videoed when he was out there. He never had a camera with him. But he has been out in side-by-sides. And I was talking with him, trying to get him to come out and film when Garrett and the boys come out and go down to the drags and do some 1320 stuff down there. And he was interested in it, but I could never just get him to commit. But yeah, what a huge loss Kyle is, and what a great guy. And the fact that I just had oral surgery last night and I should be slowing down. Yeah. Between Biff and Kyle, it's been a rough year. And then the boat accident with Kyle and James, that could have gone a lot worse. I think James and Kyle got off lucky with those injuries. It could have been a lot worse. Thank God they're okay. I don't know James that well, but I do know Kyle very well. But I don't wish any harm on either one of them. but yeah, thank God they're okay. What else? Just trying to read the comments here, guys. Should have put a K in the front of the tag and the B series in the back. Ooh, dude, how sick is that? That would be pretty freaking cool. Then you got the best of both worlds. Oh, you beat me on my B motor? Oh, let me fire up the K motor. That would be super cool, dude. But I do like possibly putting another B motor in the front and putting one big turbo and letting both motors feed one turbo and then splitting the outlets. I think that would be bitchin' too. We just have to figure out where to mount the turbo, like on the roof or something. I don't know. 01 CR250, searching for a stroker crank. No, I'm not really much of a dirt bike guy. Depending on where you're at, dude, honestly, I had a guy that lived in my neighborhood that was one of Ricky Carmichael's old mechanics, and he did all my neighbor's dirt bike work. His name is Brett, but that's about as far into dirt bikes as I got. I wouldn't even know where to begin, bro. I'm sorry. A K in the front and a B in the back. That would be pretty freaking cool. That would be cool. Yeah. We'd have to figure out somewhere to put a fuel cell in that car that would feed both motors. That would be pretty bitchin'. Time is it? 8 o'clock. Got about another half an hour I can go. What else you guys got for me? Any questions? Toy Hauler is at Warrior getting repaired. What are they doing with the shop at Glamis? I wish I knew more, but I don't. I have not talked to anybody. I do know that Greg did not own the shop. I take that back. He didn't own the property. He leased the property, and he never exercised his first right of refusal to purchase the property when he had an opportunity, because I would imagine because his lease price was so cheap, which I probably would have done the same thing. So he didn't own the property. So any improvements, where's the truck I'm driving? Oh, it's outside. What's the truck I'm driving? So he didn't purchase the property, so he didn't own it. So any improvements that he made to the property, it all belongs to Polaris at this point. I think. Well, I know that, but also if his estate, I think the lease was to his estate, and his brother is the executor of the estate. So I guess if his brother continues to pay the rent and there's a lease, then it'll continue to stay in the Biffle family one way or another. I don't really know all the ins and outs of that part of how that works, but I do know that Polaris owns the land. What's the truck I'm driving? I have a 2016 Ford F350, 6.7 turbo diesel. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Why are Can-Ams more popular on Glamis than any other vehicle? I think the financing is easier for Can-Am, if I'm being totally honest with you. I wish I knew, but I think the financing's easier. I think the Polaris is a better machine, for sure. Definitely build quality is better. The chassis, the frame is actually better. The arms are nicer. But yeah, we work on a lot of Can-Ams, and they have a lot of inherent flaws. Which don't get me wrong, they all do, but um, thanks for doing the live. It's cool to be able to interact with people you watch and look up to. Right on, man. I appreciate you watching. Thanks. If you guys have ever met me in person, dude, I'm just a regular guy, you know. So I just love doing video and bringing you guys along for the journey. So. Let's see, which side by side do I work on the least? On the least amount. That's going to be the Honda Talon or the YXZ. The YXZ, the only thing we really fix on those is the drive shaft because the factory weld cracks. So we get underneath there with tinsel rod and we re-TIG weld it, and they usually never come back. So yeah, YXZ, we don't see those in a lot. Have I ever modified a sand limo for a bigger guy? Looking to pull the trigger on one, but we'll need to modify it for I'm a bit fluffy. Okay, so I am 6'1", 200 plus pounds, and my sand limo is super, super roomy, bro. What you're going to look for in a sand limo is you want a cruiser or a monster cruiser, because the cruisers are like 4.5 inches or 5 inches. No, six. I think 6 inches wider, 3 inches on each side. In the middle of the car, it's wider. And then the old seats I had in my car were made by PRP. We call them Fat Boys because they're the biggest seats that PRP makes, and they will fit in a San Limo Cruiser. But we can, if you buy, just don't buy a coupe. If you're a bigger guy, don't buy a coupe or a limo because they're narrow in the middle. Buy a cruiser; it's wider. And then we built cars for NFL players. Leonard Davis, who's like 11 feet tall. Joe actually made a monster cruiser for him that had a taller roof, and I think it was a little wider in the middle. I'm not sure. I think it was the same in the middle, but taller roof. What up, dude? What up? Yep, some Fat Boy seats. Exactly, the PRP Fat Boys. Speaking of Fat Boys, what's up, man? You're jumping in my live right now. What are you doing, Joey?
What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing a live YouTube video right now. What's up?
Oh shit, I'm sorry. What size Joe told me to get? I'm gonna go for the exhaust. Joe said to get CBM 3/8 thick, inch and 70. Does he want stainless or mild steel?
For what?
To do the headers, flanges.
Where are you buying them from?
He said get them from CBM. I was going to just get them from CarTech.
CBM? Oh, the flanges? Just get mild.
Yeah.
Just the header flanges. Just get mild steel.
Yeah, so it doesn't. I mean, Speedway sells them too, but he says the CBM ones are nice.
I used the ones from Super Duty on my car.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Do you remember how much they were?
Like $100, I think.
Oh yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I'll have to run over there then. Was he on inch and 7/8 tube?
Yes.
You're running so that day, Trent. So I'm talking to Joe. You're running 4-inch pipe on your car, aren't you?
Yes.
So I think I'm going to run 3, but I think my car.
No, I think mine's 3.5.
Oh, okay. And I think my car was 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you get back at it, bro.
All right, man. Later. Everyone said hi, Joe. That's my buddy Joey from Total Automotive. He's got 2 San Limos. Okay, so let's get back to. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the CF Moto. Yeah, I can't wait to see those things out there. I've seen them in the dirt and stuff, and I guess they hold up really, really well, and they're fast. Those cars are fast. I can't wait to see them. What up? 2021 X3 rear tire is towed in. but nothing looks bent. Any ideas? Yeah, the arm's probably bent. Trailing arm's probably bent. When are the videos coming with the Dune shop from the customer vehicles, all the employees, sweet content? Yes. Again, our shop doesn't open back up until October. So, and then usually when I'm out there from October to May, actually we closed. Yeah, we closed a little bit early this year, but it was dead. I usually upload daily when I'm out there. So that's when those videos start back up in October. Thanks for info. See you once. If I do the work. Right on, right on. What do I think of Polaris's massive sponsorship of Cletus? I think it's cool. I think anybody that can latch on to him right now and do a collaboration with them they're smart. The guy's got millions of followers and loyal followers at that. So any company that wouldn't want to do business with him is shooting themselves in the foot. Look what he's doing for NASCAR. I think it's awesome. Look what he's done for motorsports in general. You know, I think it's great. Yeah, and I know that Biff probably introduced him to the guys from Polaris. So what else? Sherry said hi to Joey. What would be my dream build right now? Well, I have the sand car that I've always wanted, my San Lomo Monster Cruiser. It's built the way I wanted it built. I built the car. Joe did the chassis work. I assembled the car. I wired the car. You know, I really don't know. Just kind of whatever comes next on the list. I had my bug, my tan car. I ended up selling that because I don't drive it. I mean, if I was to build another bug, like really build it, that's the car I would build. A street car that I can drag race. My Chevelle wagon is freaking badass. I love that car. That was a dream build for me. How can you tell if it's bent? That's a great question for me, dude, because I used to have a lot of, I wanted to own them all, right? And then my friend Tim that I bought my bug from, I never understood why he sold that car to me. And he sold it to me relatively cheap, you know, because it was me and we're friends. And but he has like 2 Copo Camaros and a hot rod, like a rat rod and a couple other cars. And I see him constantly selling his hot rods. And I'm like, dude, why are you selling your cars? And his answer to me is, I can't own them all, but I can try to own them all once. And I was like, it actually completely changed my philosophy. I had that Mazda mini truck. I was going to build it. I owned it. It is what it is. I didn't need it. I didn't have the time, so I sold it. Do I still have Kyle and Cletus's sand rails? I just delivered Cletus's car to Cord's Performance so they can do some punch list items. Those are his wheels right behind me because I had to put loaders on it. And Kyle's car, Razzle Dazzle, is back. Yes, it is here. It's right over here. You guys can't see it. It's off camera, but it's right next to my shop door here. So, yeah, Razzle's back, and it's getting a whole bunch of work done. We're redoing a bunch of stuff on the chassis, the front A-arms, the new front spindles, new everything, new hubs. Like, that car's going to be freaking badass. I'm probably going to put front disc brakes on it as well. Yeah, his car's getting a whole lot of work. So I'll do definitely, like I said, I'll do some content on it. I just got to check with Kyle and make sure it's cool. And you know, I'm sure it'll be fine that I can film with it, but I'm kind of changing my philosophy a little bit on other creator stuff that I'm working on. And, you know, they're at the same time, they're creators. So I don't want to make content with their car if they don't want me to. So as long as it's cool with him, I'll film videos about it and we'll go from there. But yeah. And then, you know, with Kyle, you know, I'll probably end up storing his car. just full time. How come James never comes out to Glamis with Cleat? You know, um, I actually asked James that once. I'm trying to remember what he told me. I just think with him having kids and stuff, and he doesn't really as he doesn't really not really into it. I don't remember what he told me. I saw him at the Freedom Factory last year and asked him why he doesn't come out, but I don't remember what he told me. It made sense when he told me. Wrenching, fixing, repairing, time on the race cars, Dune vehicles. Is there an epic vehicle? Wow. My favorite car, and this is God, for people that know me, this is going to sound weird, or maybe it might not. Uh, my buddy Milton owned a 1960 Cadillac four-door flat top. Um, it had airbags on it. Him and I put an LS1 in it. And I did all the wiring on the car, set the motor up, put front disc brakes on it, redid the whole air system on it. That car was probably my favorite car that I've ever worked on or ever did. Period. That thing was so sick. It was black, laid flat on the fucking ground. I think 75 feet long with big fins on it. I mean, that car was gorgeous. And that's probably, if I was to ever build another air ride style car, I'd probably build a Caddy. That car was sick. 1960 Cadillac, four-door flat top. That car was just probably my favorite build. If you look back on my Facebook or my Instagram, there's some photos of it there. And he actually just sold the car a year ago with the perfect license plate. Yeah, it did. What's the biggest jump I've ever hit in a rail? Wow. So a lot of years ago, I'll tell you that in just a second. Let me see if there's anything for you. Would it be hard to make an Integra for the dunes? No, yours is rear-wheel drive, buddy. Let's put some paddle tires on that thing and send it. Joe's truck is coming along. It's kind of on standby right now because we're so busy over there at the shop. But we're thinking next month we're going to get that thing done. I want to get that thing finished so he can get it out of the shop, moved into his regular garage, and we need more space in the shop over there. So biggest jump I ever hit in a rail, I was actually in the passenger seat of my friend's car. This was years and years ago. So we had gone out in the dunes and we hit this little jump, coming back into camp or leaving camp. And he had marked it on his GPS. And he had hit it in second gear. He had it in second gear wide open. And later on that night, we were coming back from somewhere. And we were following the same trail via his GPS. And he goes, oh, that jump is right here. And he actually ended up hitting the jump in third gear at night instead of in second gear. We flew through the air, and it felt like for, 10 seconds we were in the air. It was insane. We landed, the front took it, but the back end of the car slammed down, and we hit so hard it blew his wife's headset off of her head and knocked her out cold. It jarred her neck, and we stopped, and I turned around, and she was like this, just KO'd out cold. Scared the crap out of me. I thought we broke her neck and killed her. That was probably the biggest jump I've ever hit in a rail. Biggest jump I've ever been in is in a runner truck. My friend Dan, who's a insane driver, he's had pre-runners his whole life. We went to the top of Olds in a Ford Ranger and came down Olds in fourth gear as fast as the truck would go. And we hit the jump leaving Olds. We flew 173 feet. They measured it. And it's actually in the Quicksand 2000 video. I'm in the passenger seat of a black Ford Ranger with blue graphics on it. That's the biggest jump I've ever gone. It was insane. You know the feeling. Yeah, that's the jump that you and I just hit a while back when I blew the headset off your head. 177 feet. It was crazy. And it wasn't really that, we weren't really that high off the ground. We just went far. Am I a boat guy? No, I like boats. I just don't own one. I heard that there was 2 awesome days when you own a boat. And the first awesome day is the day you buy it. And the second awesome day is the day you sell it. And honestly, I'm not an Arizona guy. I live in Arizona, but I'm a Cali guy. But anyways, yeah, I'm a desert guy, and most desert guys are boat guys too. I don't know, man. I've just never got into it. I love going on boats. I like going to the river and hanging out, but I've just never really been a boat guy. That's so wrong. Yep. Yeah, I have a lot of friends with boats, and we spent a couple summers in Blythe at my buddies used to run an RV park there, and all their friends had badass jet boats, and they were part of that SoCal Jet Boats group, and we just hung out with them and went on their boats. It was a lot of fun. Miss jumping in dance crowd. Yeah, me too. I'm surprised comp isn't big at night again, now that it's not closed at night anymore. Technically, it is closed at night, I think, but people just don't go there because it's small. For the Can-Am X3 stock arms, are there anything's better than stock? Oh, nice. You guys had a lake house in Elsinore. That's where I lived in Lake Elsinore for 22 years. I was born and raised in Huntington Beach. Grew up and went to Fountain Valley High School, and then moved from Orange County to Elsinore when it was time to be an adult because I couldn't afford to live in Orange County anymore. My wife's parents at the time lived in Lake Elsinore, and I saw how cheap it was to live there. So we ended up moving to Elsinore. Longer than 22 years. Yeah. I actually ended up living in Elsinore longer than I did in Orange County. Sorry, I'm real itchy because the surgery I had. Let's see. I'm trying to read all these comments here, guys. What do I think of the Dubai Dune hot rod climbing scene? Not sure if I've seen it. Dude, I want to go there so bad. That's the Liwa. That's in Liwa, the drags. Have another shot of ice water on you. You got it. That's what it is. The Liwa drags are friggin' sick. Joe has been there a bunch of times. He used to do a lot of builds for guys in Qatar and Dubai. I want to go really, really bad. I actually had an opportunity at one time to go, and it just fell through. But I would go in a heartbeat. I know a lot of those guys over there. Shop with Joe's truck at be able to share content, sharing knowledge. I don't know what that means, buddy. Say that again. Greenwater and Carp, yep. I lived in Whittier and then moved to Utah when it was time to grow up. Yeah, man. Totally. Field trip. Yeah, definitely. Be able to share content. I'm not sure what you mean. Field trip. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to take a field trip to Qatar. Like I said, I know a lot of the guys over there that are big into the sand car stuff. So, and like Joe used to build, he's built so many cars for guys over there. The Crown Prince of Dubai, or the Crown Prince of this guy, and Sheik of this guy and that guy. But yeah, they're all pretty cool dudes. I like them all. I've met a bunch of them. Question via text. Sweet. What's my best memory this season? Good question. Probably actually getting to go out and Dune my new car. Being able to take. So I do a lot. I build a lot of cars, and I've built cars for my wife and done stuff. And she never really gets to pick, right? I never really give her the options. I usually just kind of take over and do builds, and she ends up with a car, whatever I give her. So this time when we built the sand car, she got to pick the seats. She got to pick the colors, so it was cool to me to be able to build something that had her flavor in it too. And dude, to be honest with you, my car is freaking badass and I love it, but I get more compliments on the colors that she picked than anything. So totally stoked. So my best memory this season was getting to take her out in the car that she picked out. Cool. If I didn't have a sand limo, what would be my next choice for a car? Good question. Because of the sand limo, yeah, dude, whenever you come out, my car's there, dude. We can go ripping. It would either be a Fodril, an Aceco. There's one other brand. And the reason being is because they all use the same front suspension geometry. Same A-arms, same spindles. I'm a big proponent of what I call a uniball car. And that's what San Limo front A-arms are set up with a uniball cup in the end. So your spindle has a stud, and it's going to look gross, but the uniball sits there and a bolt goes through it, right? So what that allows you to do is that spindle can move up and down in the uniball, right? And it stays straight no matter how you have the car turned. So I can be completely locked to the left, and my inner left tire can lift completely up off the ground, and it will never camber in or out. It stays perfectly straight with a uniball. When you have Heim joints and a standard spindle, when you raise the car up and down, that spindle does not stay straight. So as you're going through the whoops or you're turning, the tire cambers in and out constantly. I know it's not enough for you to see, but if you play it back in slow motion, you will see your tire do this while you're turning as you're going over bumps. With a San Limo, Aceco, or Fodril, they will not do that. My roast of people coming into Glamis Fab is hilarious. What happened? I don't know. Did I roast some people? All right, Sam, let's look here real quick. What's good, Jared? How's it going? Accept. Your Sidewinder channel with SV16 has ball joint A-arms. Ooh. Ouch. Oh, that X-brace looks good, dude. Yeah, that'll work. That X-brace will work good. Thanks for sending me that picture. Right on. Thanks for jumping on real quick, Jared. Appreciate it. So that's the front end and the suspension geometry is it's everything in a sand car. I don't care who you are, what you've built. I guarantee I will put the front suspension of a San Limo up against anything on the market, anything. And there's nothing that turns better. There's nothing that drives better. I guarantee it. I've driven tons and tons of cars, and there's nothing like a San Limo. I can go up holes in my car in third gear with my foot to the floor, and I can just grab the steering wheel and yank it to the left, and the car will just spin. No turning brake, no nothing. San Limos, they're what I call a point and shoot car. You just point it whatever direction you want to go, and that's where you'll go. How much different is the front? Adding bypasses since I did the front, dude. Holy shit. Adding 2-inch hollows in the front gave me more confidence that it's not going to break when I hit stuff hard. But what a difference it made. Adding bypasses in the front. I'll really know the big difference when I get the car back from Carl at Shock Talk. When he gets me the car back and the suspension is dialed, I'll film a video on it. It's going to be epic, dude. I'm going to send that fucking car. I'll go down Sand Highway at 100 plus. Films of the Dune Shop have so many projects with techniques, working, and learning. Are you able to share some of the same content? Left field, you're great at repairing a building. Yeah, I share that content out there, when we're out there. It's just all that stuff we do out in Glamis Fab is spontaneous, and about 90% of that stuff comes off of Joe's head. Like that dude, I will always say this about him. He's probably forgotten more about building sand cars and repairing stuff than I will ever know. That dude is insane when it comes to like being able to MacGyver. Like it's so weird, right? Because I get to see him in both aspects. So I see him at Glamis Fab where he's MacGyver, but I also see him at San Limo when he's a chassis builder and a fabricator. And the difference is night and frickin' day. Like Joe's not the same guy he is at Glamis Fab. At Glamis Fab, we're get him in, get him out, fix him however we can, and we fix him right if we can, but if not, we'll get you back in the dunes. At Glamis or at San Limo, he's super meticulous. I just watched him build 2 chassis in like 4 days. Got the torsion housings in the jig, and then he was off to the frickin' races, dude. And they came out frickin' perfect. Like, you guys will see a couple new cars that are coming out. Joe built an identical 4-seater to his Beam car, and then he built a 2-seater for his wife. So we'll have those cars out this year too. You guys will be able to see those on the channel. How much shorter are the front shocks? I went from a 12 to a 10 and gained 4 inches of travel, believe it or not. Wow, Joe's. Yeah, dude, some people don't like him. Here's what it is. I think he's badass. He's an insane builder. He's been doing it so long. So yeah, I went from a 12-inch to a 10-inch shock in the front and gained 4 inches of travel. Go figure, right? So since we moved, the shock used to stand up like that, and we moved it down and out, right? So as this arm comes up, the angle of the shock moves as the arm comes up, and that's where we gained all the travel from. And I don't know what the actual degree is for a king shock, but like Joe's rear suspension's all set up the same. He has a jig because you want the shock when it's at full compression to be at 45 degree or 43 degree angle. And that's where the shock works the best. And he sets all the cars up that way. So even if it's not a San Limo, when he's doing something else and he builds shock mounts for it, if it's got a king shock on it, he sets it at a certain angle, and he sets the same angle on every car. And it's for that reason. The shock works the best in that angle. Does anyone go out to Glamis during the summer? Or is it too insane? It's super hot out there. You'll have days where it's 112, 115. There are a few people that still go. I would imagine there'll be people out there for Memorial Day weekend this coming. But your Monster Cruiser has front bypasses and 2-inch hollows. Alper did the hollows. Now the front is 93 wide with taller tires. Curious how wide mine is. I don't know. I don't remember. I'll have to measure it. So Alper made your hollows. Did he make your arms? Or did he use San Limo arms? Oh, definitely, Jared. Hit me up. I told you we're an Albans dealer. I can get that stuff direct. So let me know. And I got to look for some stuff in one of these bins for Ralph. He needs some GSR stuff too. And I got to dig through some of my bins and see what I got. Yeah, so did Alper change your arms? No, stock limo arms and spindles. Welded the hollows on Joe's. Ooh. All right. Well, I wish I had one here to show you, bro. But our 2-inch hollow, a San Limo 2-inch hollow, is the actual 2-inch hollow spindle part and the actual spindle are all machined out of one piece of billet. And then they're gusseted and welded. But like the stud that goes through the uniball and all that, it's actually part of the hollow spindle. Like it's all one piece. We have those machined. We don't, when we make a 2-inch hollow, we're not welding a 2-inch hollow spindle onto a spindle. You know what I mean? We don't weld them on. They're machined. But I'm sure it'll work. Alper's badass, dude. He's a good dude. Yeah. So he just cut your combos off and welded a 2-inch hollow on it, which should be fine. I wish I had one here to show you, but they're on my car now. So, yeah. All right, a couple more minutes, guys. What else you got for me? That's 24 people in here. Pretty cool. Jack, got a bunch more content coming up, Sandcar stuff. I've been filming at the shop. So what is the front wheel setup on Weto's beam car? I don't know. He's got some star spindle wheels on his beam car. Oh, it's my neighbor's car. It's 67. He painted it like 10 years ago. The car hasn't ran in like 15 years. And he knows I'm a Volkswagen guy, so he's just going to have me finish it for him. So 1835, dual carbs, just a full restoration, stock height. Are you talking about his beam car or his A-arm car? His A-arm car has big front tires. How hard was I on the 2D with the LSX? I wasn't. I drove the car like twice. And Joe heard me leaving the shop and heard how I drove. And he said, you better get that thing out of there before you break it. That's why I went sequential. His white beam car. Joe's white beam car or Weto's white beam car? Weto doesn't have a white beam car. Joe has a white beam car. Weto has a white A-arm car and black licorice, which is a black beam car. If you're talking about Joe's white beam car, those are 30. I want to say they're 32s. I don't remember what the rollout on the tire is, but they're Rogues. Let's see. How hard is it to edit content for my videos? It's a little bit tedious. I used to do it like film everything with my GoPro. Yeah, it worked really good. I used to film everything with my GoPro, and then I have to take all that footage, put it into my laptop, use an editor, and edit those videos. What I try to do with my videos is I try to film everything in order. That way, when I lay all the clips into an editor, they're already in order. I don't have to pull this clip and move it from here to there, because my style of vlogging is like everything I show. I try to show everything in real time, right? So we're in Glamis, at Glamis Fab. I'm just showing you every customer as they come in. We don't, I don't take one car from the day before and go, oh, that one got fucked up real bad, I'm going to put it in this video. It's just, I just lay them in order. So, I was doing that for a long time, and it's pretty tedious. Actually, it would take me a couple hours to just do a raw edit of a video, because don't get me wrong, guys. You guys have seen my videos. I don't have Cletus quality, or I'm no master editor by any means. You guys want to see great edited videos? Go to Kirsty's Cars. She's freaking badass at editing. My stuff's more raw, and I kind of like it that way. It's raw. It's it's just kind of uncut, really. I mean, I don't really chop much out unless people are cussing crazy. But now, I used to be an Android guy, and now I'm iPhone. So I use iMovie. I'll show you guys real quick. So this is iMovie, right? So here's me shooting the intro to my latest video. And then there's this dude.
Right off the trailer, right in your ass. Right off the trailer, right up in your ass.
So, and then you can just roll the timeline. So this is some stuff I filmed earlier last Saturday with some cars we're working on. But then with iMovie, so I'm right to this point. If I want to add another video, you just hit add, go to your videos, click all, and then here's all the video clips that I've filmed, and you can just click this video and add it. So, and it puts them all in order for you. So it makes, it's who I am. That's right. It makes it a lot easier. Thank you very much to Brent from PFI Speed for turning me on to iMovie. And thank you very much for Cletus for calling me a dinosaur for having an Android and talking me into getting an iPhone. If it wasn't for Garrett, dude, I wouldn't have an iPhone. I'd still be Android. He was like, get into the 20th century, bro. Get out of the 20th century and get something. And it's up my game a whole bunch. So huge shout out to those guys. Joe's Cars. So there'll be 2 more or 3 more of those cars coming out. So Brandon, our TIG welder, is building a beam car just like Joe's, but a 2-seater. Did I ever meet the guys who purchased the massive diesel ATV that took it out to Glamis? No, who was it? Massive diesel ATV. Nope. I met a ton of cool people out there. Have I ridden in Joe's car with him driving? Absolutely not. That will never happen. Not in a beam car. I will ride with him in my car with him driving. I've ridden in monster cruisers and trucks and stuff with Joe driving. He's out of his fucking mind, but that dude can drive, man. He freaking rips. He will push everything to the limit. Jacob Stang has the Cummins Banshee here in Utah. I know Merlin. Yeah, Merlin's a cool dude. I talk to him every once in a while. Yes, he does build Baja Bugs and sand trucks. Absolutely. We'll build whatever you want. Yeah, Joe's a madman when he drives, dude. He will push everything to the absolute limit of its mechanical abilities. Is he talking about Merlin's old school? If he is, Merlin's cool as hell. Yeah. I know Merlin. I know the guys from Fab Rats. I've met them. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Merlin and Fab Rats, they're cousins. So yeah, Merlin's a cool guy, man. Great to talk to, cool to hang out with. He's really nice. Hoping to try to do some crossover content with those guys this year on something. But it's nice to know that, I have somebody in Havasu. So if I'm doing a car rescue or something out that way, I can always stop by Merlin's and collaborate with him there and then come back. And then he knows that if he's doing anything out this way, he can always come by my shop and we'll collaborate on stuff. So Linda Fair, I don't know what that means, bud. His throwback Baja truck. Next month, we're going to jump back on that thing next month. They just finished the rear disc brakes in it. He just ordered tires for it. So the tires and wheels will be going on. I've got a little bit more wiring to do on it, but not much. And then it'll be done. He just redid the interior in it. The driver's seat's bolted down now. I had him leave the passenger seat out so I can still finish wiring. The AC's done and in it. It's ready to be charged up. So as soon as we get the motor running, I'll bring my gear over there and we'll charge the AC up. And that thing should freaking rip. Cannot wait. Yeah, I definitely won't ride with Joe in his beam car. I'm a big guy and I barely fit in that car. But in a big car, I ride with him, no problem. Yep, it's going to be his grocery getter. We will bring it to Glamis. And do I think Joe's going to sell that truck? No. No, I don't think so. Because of the history of that truck and where it came from, I don't think Joe will sell that truck. It's got a lot of lineage here from Arizona. Some of the Arizona guys will know it was the Campbell family, the rock crawler Campbells. I guess they were really, really well known in Baja racing and stuff. They built that truck, and that truck competed in the Baja 1000. So because of the lineage of that truck, I don't think Joe will ever sell it. But, you never know. He could. Price is right. I don't know, but he has no intentions on selling it. That's for sure. Just like his sand car that he just built for himself, he won't sell it. Yeah, I don't see why his monster truck wouldn't make it up a dune. If you watch the old Doonies videos, Monster Energy brought monster truck out to Glamis and jumped them, and that was pretty sick. Yeah, I don't see why not. It's got big tires on it, so it won't dig. Jamie and Johnny Campbell. If that's the rock crawler Campbells, then yes, that truck was theirs. If that's who we're talking about. And it ended up in some friends' hands of Joe's, and Joe wanted the truck. And I think he more wanted the truck because it belonged to the Campbell family. So yeah, there's some lineage with that truck. It goes way, way back. I don't know. I don't know a lot about the Arizona off-roader guys, but they're called the Rock Crawler Campbells. So if you look at some of my videos when I talk about it, Joe talks about them a little bit. That's got a big small block in it. It's got I think it's a 418 cubic inch World Industries billet block. That thing's going to frickin' rip. Fully built trans, like really, really badass motor. High compression, race gas, steel. Like, that thing's going to be crackly. I don't think it's the same people. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. So, yeah, we'll get that thing finished up probably next month. I talked to Joe about it actually today. He's going to the river this weekend, so I'll be back over there Friday and Saturday finishing up a car wiring. And then I'm working on that guy's dad's car over at San Lamo. Going to get it done. And then I've got 3 more cars over there right now to start wiring on pretty soon. So 2 chassis going off to powder coat, and then Brandon's building a 2-seat beam car. That's going to go off to powder coat. So yeah, it should be ripped. Still liking the Starlink at the fab shop. Starlink. Yeah, it works good. Yep, love it. It's off right now. We brought it home, but definitely works great. It allows me to do daily uploads, so that's awesome. Let's see. Johnny Campbell built the cars for Penhall, and Johnny raced for Honda. Yeah, I don't think that's them. So I'll have my car back, I think, at the end of the month. Cletus's car's at Cords. Razzle Dazzle sitting right over here, getting ready to get torn down. Transmission's going out for service. Fuel tech on that thing. All new wiring, switch pros, chassis upgrades. Oh, dude, every weekend. Every weekend. Has anything come into Glamis Fab that's made everyone stop and laugh? Bro, we see some things that, yeah. Yep. I'm almost out of ice. Yeah, we've seen some stuff, bro, that would blow your mind. People with seats not mounted to the floor. Their harnesses are mounted to the floor. So when they harness themselves in, then they're sitting in the seat and it's squished into the car. That was one. Well, I talked about this earlier about it's crazy how hard Cleats he beats his S4, and he hasn't broken a CV yet. Also, Cletus's car is a stub axle car. It is not a midboard car. So there is just a little stub axle in that thing about that big that goes through a wheel bearing. Hold on. This is actually out of Cletus's car. This is a bad wheel bearing. So he used to eat up one of these per trip, at least one, when it had those big tires on it, those big molded tires. Now, it doesn't eat these up at all. Reason being is because we put road tires on the car, and they spin more. They don't hook as hard. And yes, not a midboard car. And want to make it even more impressive? It's a spindle car in the front. Does not have a 2-inch hollow in it. Reason being, that's why I put road tires on the car. They're light. They don't weigh. They weigh less than half of what a traditional molded tire weighs. Lighter tire, less rotating mass, less weight on it. Way easier to tune the suspension. You can get way loose in the front because you're not trying to control a big heavy tire. You're just controlling. You're controlling real feedback. So, yeah, that car just has a King Kong spindle in the front, dude. It's not even a 2-inch hollow. And a lot of people had commented about why I put those tires on that car. I love road tires. I think, and I got hair growing everywhere. I love road tires. I think they work great, but they are way easier on the drivetrain and on all the components. And like I was telling people, I was saying this a little bit earlier. I don't know if you heard it, you were here or not, but he only comes to Glamis once a year. So I try to set his car up so it will last the entire weekend, because I know he is going to bounce that thing off the chip. He's going to bang gear. He bangs that thing into gear so hard that he's bent the center console from pushing it up into gear. That his car's going to get a new shifter this year too. I hope, if I get it back in time from Cords. But yeah, the purpose behind the way I set his car up is to make it last. it even with the Rogues on it that slip, that car will still out wheelie anything out there. I mean, it'll flip over backwards if you stay in it. And it's insane. You put a big, heavy molded tire on that thing, that all that car is going to do is wheelie. It won't turn. So, yeah, was kind of my plan. It's one thing if he comes out every other weekend or something and we can maintenance it and put CVs in it or whatever. But it also has the Gear 1 Super CVs in it. They're 934s. And it's got good axles, Gear 1 axles in it. I set the car up. It's got Gear 1's grease, their new boots. So yeah, it's set up to last with him beating on it. And then I go through it every season. I pull the CVs, pull the axles, clean them, anything. Anyways, all right. Did Amelia do anything wrong with Kyle's rail, or was that inevitable? That was 100% inevitable. You have to remember that Kyle's rail sat outside in a field for like 10 years before he bought it. It got rained on. That spindle where it broke was all rusty inside. Like there was no way that spindle was not going to break no matter who was driving it. It was just inevitable. I got some big monster spindles for it. So we're going to be putting spindles on the front and redoing the front end. But yeah, that was definitely not her fault. And the motor issues were not her fault either. I went through the whole fuels. That car inevitably had a wiring issue, right? So again, it sat outside and it got rained on. And the factory Honda harness, if you just take some of the wires and strip them back, the copper's all corroded inside the wire harness. So if you watch Kyle's video where he was in Colorado and they were trying to tune it last again, it made like 5 something, but it was breaking up. It's because that wiring harness is just trash. So that's all getting ripped out. We're putting a fuel tech on it. We're going to shoot for the moon, make like 650 horsepower, and I'm going to do some chassis upgrades and some other stuff to it as well. So cool thing was when I went to Colorado and picked it up, he found the interior panels for it. So I could pull those down and recover them, and now all the interior will be covered too. Make the car look really nice inside. And I haven't heard from Amelia since then. I need to reach out to her because she's thinking about buying a sand car. So let's see what else. Yeah, and Cleet's car has an early S4 in it. The only one who's ever broke his S4, unfortunately, was me. You look at some of my old videos, I broke it. He wanted to put an S4D in it, and it's just the way his car is designed. It's a ton of work to go from an S4 to an S4D. The ring and pinion's taller. We'd have to notch his fuel tank because this S4 already sits like an inch from the top of his fuel tank, half an inch. So then he loses fuel capacity, and the car's on E-Box, so it doesn't fuel car. And then at that point, it's like, if we're going to reback half the car, let's tear the whole thing down and redo the car front to back. Let's put 2-inch hollows in the front. Let's build midboards for it. Let's really, really go. And I really don't think that that's the purpose behind this car, right? Like he has a car that he's in it cheap. It's not a $100,000 car, a $200,000 car, $300,000 car. It friggin' rips. It's fast. It does wheelies. It goes everywhere he wants it to go. It does everything he needs it to do. And he paid like $40,000 for that car. So I think that car serves its purpose. It serves its purpose. Serves its purpose perfectly. God. And it's like, who buys a $300,000 Funko to go tuning once a year? I mean, I guess if you got it like that, you got it like that, but it just doesn't make sense at all to I mean, if he wants to buy a $300,000 Funko and leave me all year round, then that would be great. But it kind of doesn't make sense, The car rips. It's badass. I think we're going to wrap it this year and change the color. Maybe I'm not sure. I think he was talking about having it wrapped. So I would love to tear the whole car down and go through it front to back and redo it, but we'll see. We'll see how it works. Yeah, lighter in the front, man, is definitely helps out with the shock valving too. Yeah, go ahead, dude. Shoot. It's open forum. You can ask me anything. I'm almost out of ice, so I'm gonna have to go here pretty soon. That's a really good question about Biff's last minute purchase. Let me show you something. Let me just pull this up real quick. Like it here. But so the Biff gave Cletus and I a budget. Him and I have both been looking for cars for him. I just so happened to be out in Southern California this weekend, and I found him a car pretty local to where I was at. I had my buddy's trailer. I was at my buddy's house. He had his trailer. I just happened to be in my truck, so we're going to go and pick this car up for him, and I'll bring you guys along the way. So stick around. We'll show you what we got him. Welcome back to Cali. Find out where he's at, and they're through it, but there it is. Off to Arizona. Okay, guys, so we made it back to my place. We got the Biff's car out here in Mesa, and does that answer your question? Got a rectangle-shaped RCI fuel cell from Summit, and it's got a pickup tube fitting on the top, but not sump at the bottom. Is it fine to just have my fuel pump mounted below the tank going to the top? If it's high pressure, it should draw. I did a pickup tube in Kyle's car where it goes all the way to the back. So if it's a high pressure pump, it'll draw. So who is that? Zen V55. Does that answer your question about Biff's car? I got him that car. I found it on Marketplace. I went and bought it. I brokered the deal. The guy was asking 60 and I got it for 40. Somewhere in that range. Yeah, 255 Walbro. Oh, wait. Is it an in-tank 255 Walbro or out of tank? If it's out of tank high pressure, it should be fine. External. Yeah, you should be good. Might have to prime it, but as long as it's short distance, it should be okay. So that Walbro 255 external. So what I will just tell you is us at Glamis Fab and most of the other vendors out there, we sell Bosch 044s. And the reason we do that, we all kind of do that, is because that's kind of the go-to pump for an LS setup, for just a naturally aspirated LS. And that way, if your Walbro 255 external takes a crap, we have them in stock and you can buy it. We don't have a 255 Walbro in stock. So the fittings on the ends might be different, what have you. So we try to keep it all. Like if I was building an LS car, I'd put a Bosch 044 in it, just because I know the availability of them. Yeah, don't buy the Chinese ones because we Trust me from experience. We bought 20 of them, sold 10 of them, and had to refund 10 people their money because they're junk. It's not called an 044 anymore. It has a different part number, but it is the same pump. You can find them. So, all right, guys, 9 o'clock. I'm going to cut out of here. Thanks for joining. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. Jump on to theduneaddict.com. All of our shirts are in stock and ready to ship as usual. And we will see you guys in the next video. I'll get a video up in the next couple of days here. I've got, like I said, I got a couple in the pipeline. So thanks for joining, guys. We'll see you next time.